YouTube, welcome back to the channel. We got a car review we doing today, man. This is my Dodge Challenger Shaker. Love this car, great car, man, excellent. The reason I'm doing a review on this thing is actually because I am currently in my home state where I'm from, Detroit, Michigan. I drove this car here. It took me about 1,000 miles to get here, maybe 1,100, somewhere around there. And so I'm actually in the city and I haven't been staying in the city. So I've been staying about 50 miles out the city. You good, you good. I'm just vlogging. And so I think it's a good opportunity for me to be able to really talk to you guys about everything I found with it. Now, I'm actually getting ready to clean the car up. So that was kind of the inspiration behind this. And if you guys didn't check out my Beyond the Gamer interview, self-interview, check it out. So I'm gonna roll the intro right after this. All right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel, man. Thanks for the support. This is some random content, not the normal thing that I've climbed into the YouTube algorithm about, but I want to make this video for a couple of different reasons, primarily just in case somebody happens to, stumble across searching and maybe interested in buying themselves a Dodge Hemi. This is a Shaker. It's RT Shaker specifically. So nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. What I love about it is more so just the aesthetic and the performance. I know that there's some modifications and things like that that can be done to make the car stronger, faster, but for me, day-to-day driving, this thing is great. So this review is going to come by way of talking to you guys just about like how it's held up for me putting it on a road trip. As I said, I'm from Detroit and I've driven about 1,000 miles, 1,100 miles to get here. And so here visiting, I'm actually going to be back home by the time you see this content. Just said, man, I was like, let me watch it before I get back on the road. And in doing so, I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and get some content out here. So something to just point out with the car, I do have content on the channel about it. So this review, if you will, is not going to come from a perspective of default, utilization with this car. Nothing has been changed from a performance perspective, but I have changed some things to make my life easier, some things to accommodate me and my personal interests. All right, so audio is a big thing for me. Obviously, on a road trip, you're gonna listen to a lot of music. I added some subwoofers to this. I'll card in the video now. That video doesn't really speak to the experience that I'm having now, though, because this box, I actually had it modified. If you're into speakers, this box I've owned for many years. I did own a Dodge Charger back in 2010, 11. And so I had two MTX 9500s in that car. This box, believe it or not, still exists from that vehicle. And so the Kicker Q Series L7s, these are 12-inch squares. Actually, the content that I posted on my channel, putting them in this, had their default box. That box was taller than this box. And so because of the height, I wasn't able to push it back to where I really wanted it to be. Plus, I wasn't a fan of how it sounds. So I talked to a guy that has some skills with the saw and he got these to fit into there. So he pretty much expanded the circular holes that was in this box and got them to fix. And it just sounds amazing. A lot of beat to it. Got a really good amp on it. So if you refer to the prior video that I did card in about these subs in its original box, everything from an amp perspective is still inside of here, but great audio so far. All right, my car does feature a black aesthetic. The actual seats are not leather. Got a base package from that perspective because I do intend to get my own seats done. I'm probably only gonna get the fronts done because the backs have absolutely no real use. I do have older children, and I almost wish that this car was truly a two-seater, where you'd have the ability to slide the back seats back even more, but I digress. I understand why it's made the way it is, but all black interior. I do not have a moon roof in this vehicle, and I don't think that I would want one either. I love the ride and the type of feel that I get in it. My radio is a smaller one. I'm not sure if you can really see it. We'll try to zoom in a little bit. this is going to be shot completely on tripod. So yeah, you can see the radio there. I don't have the 8.1 inch, I believe is the size. I have the one under, which is like 6.7 or something like that. But it works pretty good. Pretty much a CarPlay system. You can't do anything to really change these radios from what I hear. I know that you could customize and do some things there, but a lot of the integration of, you know, controls and such are all built into there, but it works pretty good. From the steering wheel, it was real thin for me. I'm not a racer, so I don't know, maybe that's the style a lot of people like. I was able to give me a thicker steering wheel there with the two red stripes there for the Dodge, just to add my own little aesthetic there. I do have a couple of 3D mats in the vehicle also. It makes it really nice and clean. My interior from the carpet perspective is pretty perfect in here because of those mats. So any type of debris, dust, I'm able to just pull those off. All right, our focus here is talking about the sound system. Now this car, like a lot of these that have the RT or higher models, come with what they call an Alpine system. Alpine being a reputable company that does make some car audio. They make amps and such. The speakers, like the actual material of them, are very cheap. Not something that I'd recommend for anybody. They didn't sound good to me. It just wasn't a good system. It does have an Alpine amp also, and I got rid of that too. So I completely bypassed that, and I did share some content within a previous video that I've recorded and posted on the channel about what I did. I'll card that in right now if you're interested in seeing what components I went with. What I currently have in there now are PRVs. I have 6.5 inch PRVs. I'll put them in the description. I have those in the front door. The front door on this vehicle is a 6x9 by default. So it's designed to give you some pretty good mid bass from the front. And then you do have a 3-inch cutout for a tweeter on the dash. I didn't like any of those. So I got PRVs on the dash. I got a 6x9 for 6.5 adapters in the doors. And then in the rears, I have the same exact 6.5s in the back that I have in the actual door. There's one more thing that I'm looking to do in the back. I'm looking to get somehow, some way, the same tweeters that I have on the dash cut into the back. It absolutely screams in the front. Those tweeters just do an amazing job on the amp system that I have. And I'd love to have that on the back, although I did tamper around with the crossovers and I made the backs sound flat and loud the way that I want them to, because the bass in the trunk is all I need. I don't like hearing much bass come from behind in my interior speakers. So adding those tweeters is going to really help me. But I do recommend you guys, if you're looking to get one of these used cars, you know, definitely enhance the audio. Go in and get yourself a reputable line out converter. I went with the LCI7, could be 6. I'll put it in the description if I'm wrong, but the thing works great. Gives you your highs, your mids, your lows, so you can put any kind of amp that you want, and you can just completely just pull the signal from the factory here and get what you need to get. All right, so historically, I'm a big wheel guy, and I mean that literally and figuratively. So I've been known to do 24s, 26s, never went higher than 6s, but yes, I'm a wheels guy. I've done the Davin spinners back in the day, 20s, 22s, 23s, done some DUBs. I've done some designer wheels. I got a set of 22-inch 4Gs, probably gonna put those on my Marauder, but that's neither here or there. This comes with the factory set of 20s. That's really nice. The aesthetic is so nice on these, kind of a two-tone, right? The outer lining of the wheels got that nice, I won't say silver, so forgive me, I don't know what the finish is, but it's a lighter finish, and then the inside's got that black. So very nice contrast that ties really well into the overall aesthetic with the car. I did add the tint to it. Living down south is something that you just really can't get away from. I did not tint my front windshield. You know, where I'm from, it's not 100% legal, and so you know, DWB, I do not want to put myself in a position where law enforcement wants to bother me at all. So I try to adhere by laws the best way that I can. So yeah, but this overall aesthetic is very nice. As I said, it's got the Hemi engine. It's stock there. It's got this shaker, right? It's called a shaker edition. So it's got the breather there, helps intake, pull more air into the vehicle. I looked up some intelligent reviews of this vehicle and this package when I was looking to purchase this thing to cash it out. But yeah, it helped me a lot just to have a better understanding of it. And when you go down to just the overall aesthetic of what this car is, it is beautiful in my opinion. Let's see if I got a good shot there for you guys. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. Yeah, it's pretty, man. I like it. It's got the nice hint of everything that's there. You know, some of the things that I like to change with the car are things that I don't need to change, but it's more so what I want to do. I would like to get a better brake system, you know, and so I'll be looking to possibly do that going forward. I do have another car I'm lined up to look to purchase. That's going to be probably going to set me back a little bit, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this one in terms of like the upgrades that I'd like to get done. But all in all, it's a very, very nice car. Performs really well. All right, let's focus on the elephant in the room, and that is the gas tank. The gas tank, man. How much gas did I have to spend to get here, right? Man, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It really wasn't. I thought that I was going to be spending a fortune here. I wasn't concerned about it, though, because I came here on a mission. I had some business to attend to. I do have 2 daughters that live here. And so it was one of those things where I was like, hey, man, you know, I'm not worried about it. But this thing got on the highway, and let me tell you, it was pretty good, man. I ended up spending about 200. This is US dollars. I don't know who might be seeing this. I ended up spending about 200 and let me just say about 260 to get from my destination to where I am here. Now, the fill-up process was me filling my car up to start driving where I was located. And I'm saying from there to the last time that I filled up. Now, when I actually got to this city, my car was in highway mode. And so it had about 230 gallons or miles, not gallons, but miles until it was empty. Obviously, being in the city, that's going to change. So the biggest thing is once the car gets in that highway mode, just like other cars, your gas consumption is going to be much better, much better. To give you some perspective, I drove my XTS Cadillac. I'll card that in if you want to check that out. I drove it here about 2 months ago, prior to me recording this right now. So whenever you guys see this, about 2 months before this, I drove my Cadillac, and it cost me about $179. Now, that was regular gas. This car takes premium gas, so under $100 difference. Not too bad when all things considered. Number one, I didn't want to rent a car. Number two, I wanted to travel the way I wanted to travel. So what does that mean? If I want to have my own firearm, or, you know, I want to have the tent, I want to just have the sounds that I have. I don't want to deal with a shoddy rental where somebody didn't smoked. I don't smoke in cars, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be in something clean that was mine. I do have surveillance on this thing by way of an alarm system. I've got 2 GPS pieces onto it, so I can start the car, I can see where the car is, and do all of those different things, you know what I mean? If something was to actually happen with the vehicle, it's just a good situation for me, so worked out pretty well. All right, so ultimately, I'm not looking to rate this thing. It's my car, I own it. And so I love it. I love everything about it. Like, I don't want to change anything with it. I never thought at one point that I wanted to put bigger rims on it because I love the way it accelerates, and I didn't want to change that. When it's time for me to get new brakes, I am going to upgrade to some brakes that are better. That's going to also give me a color aesthetic that I want. So I'd like to have that red caliper, you know, combination going. I think that's going to be a nice touch to the RT badge that's on the front of the car. Outside of that, I would like to change the lights also. I like to get all the lights where they are just one nice consistent white color. Outside of that, guys, it's a really good car. I'm gonna do the seats at some point, but I have no desire to change the paint or anything like that. I plan on having this car as a lifer, you know, 15, 20 years. I'd love to be able to give it to one of my sons. You know, it's a V8, and I don't know that they'll always make these type of cars, but I'm glad I got one. I'm glad it's in my collection. I definitely don't baby it. I drive it, but at the same time, I'm not aggressively irresponsible. So I'm not the guy that's going to be racing and you know, pushing this thing to 7 every 5 seconds. I mean, I'm here in Detroit, and every time I ride past anybody with a Mopar, it doesn't matter if they've got a goddamn Hellcat or if they got a V6, they're hitting their gas trying to get me to accelerate. Like, nah, man, I'm riding low key with good music, with a good firearm, and I'm okay. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have any questions. You know, I just wanted to put something together. You know, if you happen to just need me to test anything about this car, or, you know, want my opinion on something that you might be looking at. Again, I'm not a car reviewer. That's not what this channel is, but this is all about TKK, and this is one of the things that I'm into. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. God bless. Max love.